Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are back with the latest edition of Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's the #1 tennis betting podcast brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sports. But my sound is echoing here. But before I move that across, but anyway,
good to me.
You sure? It's really echoing my sound. Anyway, before I didn't give you an introduction,
Sorry, mate.
It's our senior handicapper, Sean Calvert. Sean, thank you. It sounds good, Sean. Yeah,
it sounds fine. Yeah, sounds fine.
Really?
To me.
Hang on one second. Let me just try and adjust that. Honestly, I think I've pressed some kind of wrong button or something like that. But
this is why I don't touch the equipment. I just let the equipment do what it's doing. I don't get involved.
I don't get involved. But when you come back from a few days away, things never seem to be right. Nobody, no one comes in your house. No one changes things up. But things just never seem to be right.
I take this with me. I take this bad boy here.
I know you do.
Yeah, I get stopped every single time at the security check because I've got a microphone wrapped up in bubble wrap in my suitcase. I say every single time. The French didn't bother in Paris, but everybody else, what's this? What's this? Every single time. I always go straight to the side because I know my bag is going to be siphoned off to the dodgy section. So, but it's good.
You look dodgy. You look a bit dodgy.
It could be that as well. It could be that as well. I don't know. Maybe
you do look that. But you missed me. Have you missed me?
Have I missed you? Yeah, of course. Yeah, goes without saying, isn't it?
Lovely. I've been away in Vegas.
You're in Vegas. I get like Rotterdam and Paris in February and November. So there you go.
Well, to be fair, let's be honest with you. We'll come out. The trip was fantastic. The big wigs at Bet Rivers really looked after us. We had a beautiful house poker tournament there. We come out. You'll come out there, Sean. We'll get you out there, no problem.
We're going to do something for next year, are we?
The problem is there isn't a bus route that goes from the strip to or a tram or anything like that. And that's why they asked me, would Sean come out? I said, well, we need to check the rail network to make sure it's all right. But
I'm not exclusively public transport. I just use it when it's there, when it's convenient, and when it's available. If it's not available, then I'm more than happy to fork out for a cab, as you know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be there. But forking out cabs is one thing you don't like. You're not happy about doing it. I know you don't.
I'm not keen because I always get ripped off. Like when I was in Antwerp, and that guy was like, wanted to charge me 34 euros for a 5-minute cab ride. This is what happens all the time. I do prefer to get. I did get a few Bolts and that, and Ubers in. Mainly Bolts, actually, in Paris. So, yeah, I'm sort of coming around to the idea, but I don't trust them.
But if that kind of thing really annoys you, these two tournaments this week, they're taking on to a different level of annoyance, don't they, surely?
They shouldn't be playing tennis. First of all, they shouldn't be playing tennis this time of year anyway. That's number one. Number two, if they must play tennis this time of year, play it outdoors. There's no need to be ever to be playing indoor tennis, in my opinion. If you look at where they are now in the Challenger Tour, they're in South America. They're playing in Ecuador. They're playing in Uruguay. They had Saint-Tropez. They had the Saint-Tropez Challenger, Mas Palomas in Gran Canaria, the Tenerife Challenger, all this sort of stuff. That's great. That's wonderful. Why can't we have that on the ATP Tour? Instead of that, we get Metz and Sofia, where the combined total of people watching is about 15 and a dog. It's dreadful. If you must play tennis this time of year, play it outdoors. Have the Golden Swing, the South American Swing. Have that at this time of year. It's because the weather's just as good for it. But anyway, don't get me started on this because
I want to keep continuing about this.
It'll take the whole show up.
It doesn't matter. The tennis offering we have here in the 3 matches we're going to talk about isn't really that exciting. So I want to hear this. But we was chatting as well away when I was in the US talking about tennis tournaments. I think the whole tour should be outdoors. Outdoor tennis is
absolutely it should. It's an outdoor sport. You should never ever have indoor tennis. There's no need for it.
No. And the atmosphere indoor tournament. We're going to do a little video at the end of this season. I'm going to put one up. It's my 10 power play events you go to. All of them will be outdoors. None of them will be indoors. Indoor tennis doesn't have the same feel to it.
No, it's dreadful. I'm saying now, officially on the record, I am never going to another indoor tennis tournament again. I'm done.
Really? Done?
Yeah. That lower dungeon thing in Paris, that's the last straw. I can't take it anymore. It's awful. The tennis is a summer sport, and the summer somewhere all around the world, they're showing that on the Challenger Tour. Why can't the main tour? I know why they can't. It's because of money and because of tennis politics. I know that, but have it in places where it's sunny. There's somewhere it's sunny around the world all the time, and they shouldn't play into November either. It's way too long. All the players are getting injured, and there shouldn't be a tour finals either. If you want to get me started on that, but probably best not go there right now.
No, but we shouldn't have. No, let's talk about this. This is important. We shouldn't have a tour finals. The tour finals is an absolute money-making machine.
If you're going to have it, which you shouldn't, don't have it in the middle to end of November when everyone's kind of on their last legs. I wouldn't have it at all because it is just about cash, isn't it? It's just about more money for the ATP, more money for the players, but it is only the elite that get there. You know, the whole thing needs a rethink, to be honest. The calendar is something I've been moaning about for years and years and years and years, but it's never going to change unless tennis politics change. It's simple as that.
Unfortunately, it probably get worse with the Saudi investment and terms of going over there. So it's probably going to, but at least it might be outdoors.
Well, they've just released the 2025. They just today, actually, the ATP have sneaked out this news about the 2025 tour where they're dropping some tournaments and making some tournaments 500s, all that sort of stuff. They've released that today. I think so. If you ever wanted to go to Newport, on the grass, it's
the Isle of Wight or Wales,
America in Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
I the only Newports I know are the Isle of Wight and Wales.
Well, it's neither of them. So if
we want to go, then when are we going? When are we heading there?
It's your last chance. It's just after Wimbledon. Again, another calendar anomaly. Just after Wimbledon, you have some people playing on clay, some people playing on grass at Newport. Some people go into the hard courts, so the whole thing's disjointed. But it's the last time you can watch Newport because it's gone in 2025. And there's a couple of other tournaments. Atlanta, I think, is gone as well, and another one whose name escapes me. They're making Dallas a 500 indoors.
Is there any new events coming? New venues?
Next year, actually, they're bringing Bucharest back in place of, I think it was Banja Luka that had a 1 year, didn't it? At the end of April, they're bringing Bucharest back. So I'm not going to that, I don't think, next year. I'll be going to Madrid, but they are bringing Bucharest back for 2024. And Hong Kong is a new one. Well, new. It's not been played for like 20 odd years, but that's in the first week of the season.
So that's 2025, and that is a couple of years away now. 2024 is really coming. We were on the last tournaments of this year in 2023, and we're talking. Sean sort of mentioned there the Metz and Sofia tournament. I haven't been the most exciting, but they've been profitable for us. Sure, we've had a good tournament. You know, we made a few questions. The cash the last time we spoke about, we had a Senegal win through an epic match. We haven't spoken for a couple of days because obviously travelling restrictions have sort of restricted me on where I can do and what I can't do. But we have 3 matches tomorrow that we're going to talk about in the show. It's going to be a little bit of a short one here, but it's a little bit of a catch up on when we come back from the travelling. And we've got 2 matches in Metz. We have Hugo Humbert, the local player, the French player, up against Harold.
He's local. He is local. They're both local.
Oh, they're both. Well, there you go.
They're both from Metz.
I didn't look at the. They're both from Metz. So this is the Metz derby. We have the Metz derby. Hugo Humbert up against Mayot and
Mayo.
Mayot. There you go. So Humbert, obviously the big serving left hand who's got all the talent, all the experience. And Mayot, 176 in the world he is here, the Frenchman here. But they're both Metz players, both come through this tournament in pretty decent form. Mayot's come through qualifying to reach the quarterfinals. It's a quarterfinal match. And Humbert beat Dominic Thiem in a tough match last night. I think it was losing by... You know, when you come back from away, you really can't remember days. I think it was last night. If it wasn't last night, I apologise.
I think it was, yeah.
So he come through a match against Dominic Thiem in a tough match. He's a favourite here. He's minus 455. Mayot is plus 375. The handicap here is very heavy. It's 4.5. Humbert giving up 4.5 is minus 130. Mayot receiving 4.5 is plus 102, and the total is 21.5. It is an all French classic. Money has slightly come from Mayot, not much, but it's slightly come from Mayot. He's played exceptionally well, but prior to this tournament, his challenger form has been pretty indifferent. How do you see this one going, Sean?
I think this is about Humbert and how he handles the pressure of playing at home. Until this week, he was 2-5 win-loss in Metz. It's his home tournament. He hasn't handled the pressure well. He struggled past Thiem in straight sets in the first round, his first match. In all the 8 matches he's played in Metz, every single one has gone to 3 sets. And he's played 0.33 tie breaks per set. And he's only broken serve 12% of the time in this tournament. winning just 32% of return points. So he's really struggled with the expectation there. Everyone knows he's from Metz. Mayo is also from Metz. Decent talent, only won one match at main level prior to this week, and he was a market drifter for his round 2 quali match because he took a couple of medical timeouts in round 1 against Skiovchik. But he's now played over 7 hours to get to this quarterfinal stage. He's not going to be giving this up lightly. This is a very rare opportunity for him at this level. He's decent, Mayo. He's got some decent weapons. He's a good talent. You can question the mental side of it potentially. Arguably should have done better than he has so far, but he's going to be. I know this is the last week of the season, but for him, this is arguably the biggest match of his career. He's certainly got a better record in Metz than Humbert. This one's just about, is Humbert going to handle the pressure of being favourite and a strong, heavy favourite in his home event? The evidence so far in the past suggests that he can't handle it, or he's struggled to handle it. Every single match has gone to 3 sets. So I've taken a view here that Mayo can just come out and have a swing. Why not? He can enjoy it. I'm not sure Humbert will enjoy this. He's expected to win in front of his home crowd. Mayo isn't. He can come here. He's got friends and family in the crowd. He's got to the quarterfinals. Great. Well done. Have a go. I feel like he can definitely win a set here. You're getting plus money. I think it's plus 112, isn't it? With Bet Rivers that Mayo wins a set, plus 1.5 sets.
I haven't looked. Give me 2 seconds, Sean. I'm still half asleep.
It certainly was. It certainly was. Whether it still is, I
was hoping that you would help me out here. I've done 24 hours traveling to get back here.
It was plus 112 about an hour ago. So I suspect it probably.
We'll take it. Even money. We'll take even money.
It's plus money, definitely. So
okay. So we got Mayot there. The other thing we've got to say, last week in the tournament in Paris, the record of the French players was abysmal, terrible.
They do tend to have this record. When was the last time any of them won the French Open?
I don't know when it was. Was it our man Yannick Noah?
Yes.
Was he the last French Open?
On the men's side, yeah.
Wow. What was the women's side? Mary Pierce?
I think Mary Pierce won it. Yeah. There may have been one or two after that. I couldn't comment after that, but it's certainly more recent than the men's side. I've said before. I said last week. It must be horrible to play in front of that Paris crowd. They're so fickle. They're on your back. They're booing and hissing and all this sort of stuff going on. I couldn't be doing with that. You can understand. People like Gasquet and all these guys, they don't like it playing in front of the Paris crowd. Paris in particular. I don't think he'll have such a problem in Metz because there's about 3 people there from what I can see. But he still has the pressure of the fact that it is his home event, and he's failed to live up to it so far.
I bet Mary Pierce the year that she won it, and I was playing in a football tournament. And I never forget it.
That's how long ago it was.
That's a long time ago. I was playing in the football tournament. I was listening to it on the radio in the football tournament. And I think she played. Did she play Monica Seles? She played.
I can't remember. It's a long time ago.
I can't remember. I'll Google it. We talked this. But I was listening on the car radio, and I was supposed to play in the football tournament. I kept on running from the game we were playing into the car to listen to the car radio to see how Mary Pierce got on. But she won.
Allowed when you're playing football?
No, but it was a tournament. So it was like a.
Oh, I thought you meant you kept running off the pitch in the middle.
No. You had a break. You had a sort of a break.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah, okay.
I kept on running to the car park and listening. Now, Mary, there's no internet in them days.
Oh God, no! You're going
smoke signals. Them days.
You're going back a long way.
A long time ago. But anyway, that was a cash for. So this one here, all French battle. Harold Mayo. Is it Harold or Harold? How do they? You never know.
Let's go with Harold Mayo. Let's just say Mayo.
If it's for me, saying it's Harold Mayot, but Harold Mayo, he's the bet for us, and the price plus 1.5 sets is plus 123. Sean,
is it? Well, that's even better then.
That's even bigger.
It's even better then.
That is the current line now. With
okay, let's take it then. Plus 123. Let's go with that then.
Plus 123. Head to the Bet Rivers website. Check that out. Make a bet. You can watch it on your tablet, your mobile device, whatever you have. Harold Mayot tomorrow. The all French battle. The all Metz battle. The Metz derby. Hugo Humbert, Harold Mayot plus 1.5 set. All you got to do is one set, and we win 1 set, and we cash. Next match. This one looks quite an interesting match. It really does, because we have a pick that we sort of highlighted, someone who could win the tournament. It was an outsider and someone we thought that potentially, if he was in form, would be a lot shorter price. So I think whoever wins this match has got a great chance of winning the tournament. It's between Alexander Shevchenko. It's an all-Russian affair, this one, between Alexander Shevchenko and Karim Khachanov. Khachanov is minus 350. Shevchenko is plus 275. Again, this is a rare head-to-head. These two have never met before in the head-to-heads, and not surprising, really, because Shevchenko is a bit of a new kid on the block. Some of his matches, though, I've looked on Twitter, and some people have sort of questioned the performances of Shevchenko. I'm not,
he was in one today. I watched it today. He was really in one. He was moaning at the umpire. He was yelling. He wasn't happy. I think he's exhausted, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were saying on Twitter, but he.
Well, I think they're questioning. 1 week he's fantastic, and the next week he's dreadful. And 1 week's fantastic. I think they're sort of questioning in the bad way, not in the good way. I think
that's the way he plays. When you're like an Humbert as well, when you're like a very, very attacking player, sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. And some of the who else was the guy that played Atman, Terence Atman as well. If you're playing that way, and Karatsev, if you are going for the lines, being ultra aggressive, sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it isn't. That's the nature of a really attacking play. You have to take the good with the bad, unfortunately.
Now we're looking at Shevchenko. You've got him down as a player who potentially could win this tournament. If he wins this match, he's got a great chance of the tournament. He's 22 years of age. He's steadily going up the rankings. Is he a player for us to follow, not only in this match or potentially this match? Is he a player to follow for next season as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's improved a lot this year. I mean, mainly on clay, but I think he's got the weapons to do well on the quicker surfaces. I don't see why he can't. I mean, I'm not wild about his attitude, to be honest. I'm not keen on that. I think he comes across as a little bit immature, and it's sort of similar way to Holger Rune. There's a lot of moaning going on, a lot of complaining. I'm not wild about that. If he sorts that out, because he's only a young lad, if he sorts that out, I don't see why he can't be, a decent prospect. I think this is going to be a difficult matchup for him against Khachanov. A lot depends on Khachanov's attitude here. He did say, Khachanov, he was complaining about the conditions. He said, and I quote, "These conditions are so slow, it's like we're playing on clay. You need to work for the points here." So he thinks the Metz conditions are slow. Quite clearly thinks they're very, very slow, which you would think would favor Shevchenko. Khachanov generally is at his best on a quicker hardcore. I'm not convinced about the matchup, though. I think the matchup will probably favor Khachanov because he's very, very steady. Doesn't make as many unforced errors as Khachanov. I was going to use Safilin as an example because Khachanov's beaten Safilin twice in the last few weeks, and a good example of the more steadier player beating the flashier player in Safilin. I think that probably is what's likely to happen tomorrow with these two as well. I think it'll be tough, though. Shevchenko's improving away from the clay. Beat Taylor Fritz, beat Stan Wawrinka, beat Van der Zandschulp, lost in the final set tiebreak to Felix. So he's been playing well. I mean, his stats are not fabulous, but they're sort of getting there. They're a set of stats that are improving. In his last 10 matches at main level on hard courts, 50% win rate and a service points won, return points won, total of 98. It's pretty decent because he hasn't played that much at this level on the hard courts. Khachanov, as you'd expect, much better stats in his last 10 matches, 60% win rate and a 104 total. So you kind of see why it's priced up as it is, but I feel like Khachanov, if he's going to win this, he might have to do it the hard way. So maybe look at the 2-1 set betting score. I haven't got the odds in front of me, but 2-1 to Khachanov, I think that's possible. Overs is also possible. I think it should be a reasonably close encounter that Khachanov will eventually win.
Over is 21.5. That does seem generous. It's minus 124. I think this does look an over match here. I really do. And 2-1 for Khachanov is plus 260. So head to the BetRivers website if you want to take any of those props. But this might be a little bit more difficult for Khachanov against a player that can be a little bit inconsistent, but hopefully we're having a good day tomorrow. So they're the only two matches, unfortunately, we can preview as we are now in Metz over in France. We have one match we can preview in Sofia. And it's Adrian Mannarino, a player that won for us very recently on the tournament future, up against Sebastian Ofner. Now, we're looking at the betting here. I look at the head-to-head first. It's 1-0 to Mannarino, won in Astana, the tournament that he won. And he beat him in the semi-final.
The one that we backed him in, yeah.
We cashed him in. He won 6-4, 6-2. A very, very easy win. And Ofner here is coming in quite decent form. He's had 2 wins in this tournament. And since that tournament, Mannarino hasn't had the best of forms. He lost in the quarterfinals at Stockholm. He beat in the first round in Basel, and he also got beat in the first round in Paris. He did win in the first round here against Ramos Vinolis, but let's be fair, that isn't the
I watched some of that match.
That's not the greatest of form line you could be having, could it, Sean?
It's end of season stuff, this, isn't it? Ramos against Mannarino. It wasn't the most exciting watch. The interesting thing here in Sofia was I thought the quote from Khachanov, who played here yesterday. First of all, it's interesting because he mentioned betting, which I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to do. But secondly, what he said was, I would bet on the people who are quite aggressive because the conditions are quite fast. Players who serve well, like Jack Draper and Jan-Lennard Struff, will have an advantage. I know he's played on the court and I haven't, but it doesn't look quick to me. It really doesn't. Medium paced, maybe at best. I know there's a bit of altitude here, 500 odd meters of altitude. Maybe the ball's just zipping through a bit, but I've seen numerous matches in the Sofia court. It doesn't look quick to me at all. Bautista Agut and Kekmanovic were playing, weren't they? And there was a final set tiebreak. Bautista again, final set tiebreak again against Marijan. Just a lot of. I think it's hard to hit through this court. It's not easy to hit winners on. I'm not sure that Khachanov's got that right, but this match, it's a repeat, as you said, of the Astana semi-final, and you would expect Mannarino again to have the same advantage now that he had then, which is physically, because Ofner had played. I think he played a really long match against, if I remember right, it was Dominic Thiem in the previous round, Ofner, and he was exhausted in that semi-final. And it could be the same again because he's come from a set and a breakdown today, Ofner, to beat O'Connell. And he also played 3 sets in round 1. So he's been on court for over 4 hours. Mannarino played less than 2 hours, hour and 45 against Ramos, and it was pretty comfortable. As you said, Mannarino won in straight sets in Astana, but the start was quite even. It was actually Ofner that was ahead 4-2 in the opening set, and he only won 2 more games in the match after that. His physical level just kind of dropped off the charts. And, the way Mannarino makes you play a low, he hits a very, very flat ball. I would have thought that a tall guy like Ofner, who's more of a clay man, would prefer the ball higher in his strike zone. So I don't think it's a particularly great matchup for Ofner. I said in the little video I did last night, that Ofner or tiebreak played look the bets against O'Connell, and both of those came in today. And I also mentioned that Ofner's improving on hard, but his stats are all right. They're pretty respectable. Last 3 months on hard courts, 57% win rate, service points won, return points won, total of 99. Compare that with Mannarino, though, 68% win rate and 104 total. You would expect Mannarino to win this, given that Ofner's tired as well. It's the last week of the season. I think if you are betting in this, the minus 2.5 games on the handicap on Mannarino, that when I looked earlier, that was 1.77 minus 130 chance of Bet Rivers.
That's gone. Minus 148 now. The money's come for that Mannarino, minus 2.5. Some of the lines have moved for us. Some of the lines have moved against us. But Mannarino, the fresher of the opponents, is minus 148, minus 2.5. The total games here is 22.5. Under is minus 127 over $1. So even money. And there's 28 different markets available on the Bet Rivers website. But no, that line has moved quite significantly, Sean.
Not surprised.
Is it a better minus 148, or should we even go 3.5? We can move up to 3.5.
What's minus 148 roughly in decimal?
It's around about 4 or 6. Minus,
I mean, I think it's just a lean, really. But I do think Mannarino will win this with something to spare. So you kind of pay money and you take your choice really on that minus 3.5. That could well come in as well.
Yeah, head to the Bet Rivers website, move that little games line up. You can probably give you the price on 3.5. Let me find it. I can find 4.5. 4.5 is plus 163. I can't find 3.5 as we are, but it's available there. If you navigate the website, you'll be able to find it across there. And obviously, if you do place a bet on this match, you'll be able to live stream the match from the comfort of your own home, your tablet, your mobile, whatever you want to do. Sean, this is our last show. This is our last show on the regular season before we go to the ATP finals of the year. It's our last. It's our last little chat together.
Well, not really. If we're doing the tour finals,
yeah, but this is our last regular tournament. The tour finals is different. This is our last regular season match.
I know it's been I don't know.
Don't sound too sad. I was quite sad. I was getting choked up about it. You sounded like
you weren't getting choked up about that, were you?
I was. I was.
You were. Why? You're not gonna miss me. I'm gonna. We are gonna talk next week, aren't we? So
I know. But...
what I'm saying, the tour has gone. In a way, it feels like it's gone in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In another way, when you get to November, certainly this part of November, you're looking at the matches and you're thinking, does anybody really want to be playing at this time?
No.
And it is tough.
Outdoors in the sun, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the pipe dream, isn't it? That's the Challenger Tour. Unfortunately, that's not the main tour. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed this season. It's been a profitable one again, hasn't it? And
we that wasn't the link up. We'll come on to that at the end. We're talking the profit. Okay. It's been the profit. We're going to win money. We've had a great season. We had a good win. But I'm going to ask you, this is our last regular tour. So on the ATP Tour, this is the last event that we've been to regularly. I want to ask you, on your bucket list, we're going to talk about this in the close season. I want to do a little video about the top 10 spots I've had this year. What is your number one? The number one trip you had? All the trips you've been away this year with Bet Rivers. What was your number one place? I've got to go back there. I've had such a good time. Where was your number one?
I'll always enjoy going back to Indian Wells. That's always the one that comes up first, just because of where it is, and they call it tennis paradise. But by the way, it isn't on a Saturday and a Sunday. If you go there, it's absolute hell. There's about 60,000 people, and you can't get served for anything. But in the week, it's great. What's not to like about Indian Wells apart from the Wi-Fi? That's not good.
Well, you found the spot. You found the right spot, didn't you? You stood by the.
That only worked on one day. On the other days, it wasn't having it at all. But beautiful location. Nice weather generally. That's the one that springs to mind. On the other side of the coin, anything indoors that's off. I'm not doing that again.
So where's your one? I'm not going there.
Anything indoors. Rotterdam, definitely not. Paris, no. I can't cope with that lower dungeon thing anymore. That's not happening. Anything indoors, I just find it really depressing, because all the time I'm thinking they should be playing in Gran Canaria or Saint-Tropez or wherever, and that instead we're in Rotterdam in February. I'm not happy about that. But Indian Wells is great. Mallorca. Actually, that's another one. When I was talking earlier about the tournaments that are no longer going to be on tour, I think Mallorca's gone as well as of.
I think that mad woman we met at Queen's Club might have affected that rather than.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about her. I'd forgotten about her. I didn't see her.
I worried about you when you were going to Mallorca.
I could have given her the slip, no problem. She was like, what, 87?
I wonder what you're going to say there when you said I could have. Hang on, where are you going?
I could have avoided it. Let's say that. That's what I meant to say, just for the purposes of clarity. Mallorca's one I'll miss. I do like Mallorca. It's not a great tournament, but there's no one or anywhere near you. You can sit there. You've got your whole row to yourself. It's beautiful weather. It's on the beach at Santa Ponsa. That's great. So Indian Wells and Mallorca, they're two that are right up there.
What we're going to do, we're going to do a little video in the closed season of the top 10 power ratings of the tennis ATP Tour shows, the tournaments that myself and Sean have been at. The number 10 to number 1. Keep you posted there. I'm all day long Dubai. All day long. That would be number 1 for me. But anyway.
I've been to Dubai, but not the tournament. I've not been to the tournament there.
Great little tournament. I love Monaco. Monaco was superb.
Just buses there. I don't
get the train, Sean. Get the train up through Nice. It's fantastic. And on the way back, the train was packed. You pull up and you just sit in a little fishing village and have a glass of wine and watch the world go by. Absolutely beautiful. But we're going to put the power ratings together. Hopefully, you've enjoyed all the content over the last year and all the regular tour. And this is the last podcast of 2023 of the regular tour. Hopefully, you cashed lots of tickets, lots of money, made lots of money along the way, and myself and Sean will be back, obviously, for the tour finals in Turin. I'm heading to Turin on Tuesday.
Indoor tennis.
I know, but I'm going out there Tuesday, and then heading straight back because it's my father's 80th birthday, so we've got a bit of a party. So I'm heading back for that. Okay. But anyway, it's been a great year, great chatting away, and we'll come back next week for our final tournament. And remember, the tennis may be over, but there's loads of other sports as well. You've got the soccer. Champions League action is going really strong. You have the Premier League and all the leagues across Europe as well, but you can all follow across the Betting Weekly Studios YouTube channel and by downloading the podcast on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match for the tennis, or Betting Weekly Extra Time, or Betting Weekly Premier League on the soccer. You can also follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Because We Win. Well, Sean, I'm absolutely exhausted. I need to sleep. I'm absolutely knackered. And it's been great chatting to you, mate. And
thank you.
Let's catch up again next week for the tour. I think we're going to be on Saturday. I don't think can we do Sunday? I don't think we can do Sunday. The tournament starts Sunday. It has to be Saturday, isn't it?
I think the draw's actually out tomorrow, so we could do Friday or Saturday, I think, yeah.
We'll be back
whenever we get odds, I think, probably.
Yeah, we'll have some odds up. It's the tour finals. We'll have a video on there previewing that, and that'll be our final tournament reporting on or podcasting on 2023, which is quite amazing, really. It seems to have gone so fast. Anyway, Sean, thanks very much for your time. Have a great evening. I'm going to go to bed, and we'll catch up again later in the week for the ATP Tour Finals. The end of 2023 is here already. Where's it all gone?